I'm trying to platinum and 100% every single game in the Far Cry franchise. However, for some of the earlier games, due to the PS5's lack of backwards compatibility, I've instead been getting all the achievements on my Xbox Series X, where I can play all the Xbox 360 games. So far, I have completed Far Cry Classic and Far Cry Instinct's Predator, meaning the next game in the franchise is Far Cry 2. Releasing in 2008, Far Cry 2 is the first game in the franchise that decided to go open world, and this set up the foundations for what future Far Cry games would look like. This game completely changes up the setting from the original games too, no longer being on a beautiful jungle island, but instead set in the harsh and unforgiving African desert. The graphics have been improved drastically, and the gameplay is far more realistic as guns now break down and jam. There is no HUD on the screen, meaning you have to physically open up a map to navigate the world, and you have to be more accurate by using aim down sights. And finally, the explosions and fire spread in this game are way ahead of their time. The storyline is also far more grounded and realistic. Long gone are the days of scientific experiments and genetically modified soldiers. Instead, the story is set in the middle of a civil war with soldiers and mercenaries around every corner, with one of the main goals being just to survive each encounter. Also, I forgot to mention, but the healing animations in this game are brutal, and your character also has malaria. Anyway, before I go into any more depth, let's talk achievements. There are 48 to obtain, but as you've seen by the title of this video, getting all Far Cry 2's achievements is literally impossible, due to one of the most annoying things in achievement hunting: unobtainable multiplayer achievements, because of servers shutting down. But for some reason though, Far Cry's 2 servers are still up for casual games, but not for ranked matches as of right now, which is unfortunately the mode that the achievements are linked to. So I thought the next best thing to do was instead just get all the single player achievements that are possible, meaning in this video, instead of 48, I will only be getting 34 achievements. The guide gives it a 7 out of 10 difficulty and can take up to 100 plus hours, but without the multiplayer, it is probably more like a 4 out of 10 difficulty and only takes about 40 hours to complete the campaign. So honestly, having no multiplayer did save a lot of grinding, but don't worry, I still had plenty to do for the single player. So without further ado, let's get into it. Ubisoft presents a Ubisoft Montreal production. Far Cry 2. So, loading up the game for the first time, I actually went for an achievement that is not directly related to the single player campaign and is technically the only multiplayer achievement that is still obtainable, and for this one I just had to go into the map editor and create a map that fit all of the game mode's requirements. For example, Team Deathmatch. To run this game mode, you had to have all these requirement objects placed down. So pretty simple really, it's just a matter of placing down all the objects required and I would get myself the achievement. It's clear now. Alright, we got ticks on everything. Save as. There we go, mapper. Created a map and got it validated in all game modes. First achievement, let's go. Now, after doing that one achievement, I could actually start up the main story, and just to make it easy on myself, I did just choose the normal difficulty, because this game is pretty hard anyway. I still died heaps even on the normal difficulty. Anyways, before starting though, I still had to select my character, which is very different to the first game where you had to play obviously as Jack Carver. This game, you get to choose some random voiceless character. And unfortunately, there was no Australians to choose from. That is definitely what I would have picked for my character. So the next best thing I thought was this guy here, Warren Clyde from the USA. And I also chose him because he was the tallest at 6'3" and weighed 230 pounds, so you know he's a beast in combat. Of course though, no matter what character you play as, the gameplay stays the exact same. Anyway, now that we have picked our mercenary character, we arrived in this unnamed African country where we've been sent to assassinate an infamous arms dealer called the Jackal, who is responsible for supplying both sides of the war, the UFLL and the APR. So we get into a cab where the driver gives us a scenic ride explaining to us what has been going on throughout the country and how bad of a state it is in, and he is taking us to the only hotel in town. However, as soon as we arrive at the hotel, we end up having a malaria attack and passing out. Upon waking up, we are confronted by the Jackal himself, who now knows we were sent there to take him out. He mocks us, telling us that it is impossible to kill him before he leaves us to die because of our malaria. But later on, after he has left, we actually do end up surviving the malaria attack, but of course, the town is now under attack, with both factions going at each other. So we try to make our escape from the hotel, but of course, this is a scripted event because there's enemies everywhere, so you are meant to fail the mission. Oh my god, I'm already dead. I suck. Oh. That was meant to happen, I guess. On the run. Escaped the town. Whoa, did I escape? I just got shot up. So once again, we wake up for like the 3rd time this day, and we have been saved by another mercenary. He blames us for getting some of his men killed, so now we work for him, and we have to run some errands for him. This part acts as the tutorial to the game, as we learn about the different weapons, how to heal, how to repair cars, and how to navigate to objectives using the map. In this first mission, we are tasked with unlocking our first safe house, and there are 2 achievements related to unlocking all safe houses in the game, but they are also important because this is where you are able to save your game. There is no autosave in this game, so it's very important to save whenever you can, for example at safe houses. And they can also be used to change the time of day. After that, in the next mission, I had to take out a small outpost of enemies, and also save my first buddy of the game. Buddies are very important as there are quite a few achievements related to them, and they are also just genuinely helpful in the open gameplay as they can save your life if you go down. Let's go, making friends. Saved a buddy from captivity. And as repayment for completing the mercenary's mission, we learn about how to use the diamond tracker to find our first briefcase of diamonds. Yeah. Aha. 1 out of 221 briefcases of diamonds. And of course, as you can guess, there is an achievement related to acquiring all diamonds in the game, meaning I do have to find all 221 briefcases.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Not long after that though, I did go to my first weapons shop, which is where you actually use those diamonds to purchase new and better weapons, along with upgrades. So luckily finding all the diamonds isn't for nothing. After buying some weapons, I made my way to Mike's bar, which is where all your buddies hang out, and you can get some side missions from them. I met my second best buddy, Guilen. Sorry, I probably butchered that name, but we do also meet the journalist Ruben here. Gives us our first jackal tape, which is another collectible, but luckily there's not 221 of them. There's only 17 of them to collect, and we get the first one for free. He also instructs us to take the tape to the priest in town so we can get our first underground mission, which is how you get malaria pills so you don't die from malaria. There's an achievement related to these underground missions, but they're pretty much unmissable because if you don't do these missions, you will die from malaria. With that, the tutorial was done, and now we just head into the main part of the game, which is completing missions for the UFLL or the APR. We are also given one final reminder that our goal is still to kill the jackal. So following that, I went straight in to do my first mission for the UFLL, and pretty much all these main missions in the story go the same way. You arrive at one of the faction's headquarters, speak to their leader, who then gives you a mission, plus diamonds as payment. Now this is the important part. Not long after accepting the mission, one of your buddies will call you and give you an optional way to complete the mission. This is known as subversion, and there is 2 achievements related to subverting every single mission in the game, aka doing it the way your buddy wants it to be done. So whenever I saw a blue square like this on my map, I made sure to head there first. Once you arrive at the blue square, you meet your buddy at a safe house, who then tells you the way the mission is going to be done.
Whatever happens, I will be ready. We can work together, huh?
Huh? Yeah, we can work together. Whoa! Bro, she was like talking to me and then she just dropped down and started doing push-ups. I thought she was doing something else. Essentially, the buddy just sends you to another area on the map first to complete a mission for them before you head to the main objective. So it just extends out the mission, making it longer, which does seem annoying, but you do get rewards for it, such as upgrading your safe house, and of course, it all goes towards an achievement. Oh, the best laid plans. Worked with a buddy to subvert a mission offered by a faction. So after subverting my first main mission, I decided to take on one of the many side missions in the game, this one being the arms vendor missions. At each weapon shop on the map, you can find a vendor who will give you a mission to pretty much just take out a convoy of other arms dealers, destroying their supplies. However, on my way to this mission, I did end up dying for the first time. I'm gonna die! My gun! Did he just shoot the gun out of my hand? Ah! I'm gonna die. Oh, I died. But luckily, my buddy came to my rescue. Oh, out of the frying pan. Got rescued by a buddy. Moving on from that mishap though, I eventually finally did make it to the convoy, where I took out the driver and blew up the truck. Throw a grenade! Boom! Holy Jesus. Supply. Unlocked new weapons by hitting a convoy. I completed a few more of these missions, as every time you complete one, you get access to new weapons to buy from the shop. After that, I then decided to take on another side mission, which were the assassination missions you get from the radio signal towers. Whoa. Okay. The last part where he mentioned about the diamonds is actually very important, because you can technically complete the mission by letting the target run away, but this means you won't get paid the diamonds, meaning you won't be able to get the achievement for collecting all diamonds in the game. So for every assassination mission, you must assassinate the target to get the diamonds. Yes, lineman. Completed a mission intercepted from a cellular tower signal. Do I get my diamonds? Yeah, I did. 10 diamonds. Shit, get out of here. And so after this, I pretty much just wanted to get all these side missions out of the way first before continuing the main missions, which allowed me to build up quite a few diamonds, meaning I could get my first couple of upgrades. Whilst I was completing these side missions and exploring the map, I also kept my eye out for any briefcases I could find using my radar, making it easier for when I had to collect them all later on. Purely focusing on these side missions, I did eventually complete all the assassination and convoy missions that were available to me up until this point of the game. Using all these diamonds, I was able to max out my first weapon, which is for buying the reliability, accuracy, and ammo upgrade for that weapon. Weapon Specialist. Purchased the manuals and acquired the bandolier for one weapon. Of course, there is an achievement later on for doing this for all weapons, meaning I definitely will have to get all the diamonds in the game to get this achievement as well. Next up after that, I headed back to Mike's bar, where you're able to meet with some of your buddies, and this is where you can pick up buddy side quests to complete for them. And after completing the first one, I got myself an achievement. Yeah, I got him. Right here. Yeah, lent a hand. Completed a buddy side quest. There are even more of these to complete throughout the game, which is what I did, but they don't actually count towards any other achievements. Eventually, I decided to do some more main missions, and this is where it gave me the choice to either keep doing missions for the UFLL or swap to the APR. And of course, there's an achievement for switching factions, so this time I decided to do a mission for the APR. Once again, I did make sure to subvert the mission by doing it my buddy's way, and I got myself an achievement when I completed it. Oh my god, my gun jammed, no way. That's crazy. Playing both sides. switched sides in Laboa Sako, the Northern Territory. Also, I forgot to mention, with subverting missions, most of the time afterwards you have to go and save your buddy from a firefight as they are being attacked by one of the factions, and majority of the time they also end up getting downed. And this is where you are given the choice to either try and heal them or put them out of their misery if you don't have enough Surets to heal them. Luckily, this time though, I was able to heal my buddy with the very first Suret.
Okay.
Can't let her die
I
yet.
think I'm up.
Yes. Into the fire. Saved a buddy from a mortal wound. After that, it was now time to do my actual first underground mission, where you have to take some passports to some fleeing citizens from the country, who will in return give you some malaria pills. Oh, hello. Yes, I do. Sweet, thank you. Yes, until next time. Bagman. Delivered stamped travel documents to the underground in exchange for medicine. From there on, for the next few hours, I just spent it completing more main missions, until eventually, on one of these main missions, one of my buddies got knocked again. And this time around, I chose the other option. I'm sorry.
Doom, like,
I'm sorry.
I definitely want to do Doom Eternal.
Oh, I just killed her. Is that an achievement? Yes. Good night, sweet prince. Comforted a buddy and eased his passing. Incorrect, it was a she. Good night, sweet princess. Comforted buddy and eased her passing. Come on now, game. So unfortunately, I did have to lose one of my buddies for that achievement. I could have just gone back to a previous save and made sure to save her next time, but I chose not to. But funnily enough, not long after that, I accidentally died, and I hadn't saved my game, so I actually went back before I killed her, and this time I actually did save her, keeping her alive. Anyways, after completing that mission, I decided it was now time to clean up the entire northern territory of the map, because looking at the guide, I knew that the game eventually opened up into a southern territory, and I wasn't sure if you were able to go back to the northern one once you were down in the southern area, so I made sure to get everything done in the northern area so I would never have to go back there. Looking back in hindsight, I believe you can still go back to the northern territory and collect all the diamonds and the jackal tapes. The only thing is, getting all buddies is not possible once you go to the second region. I'm still glad I did it this way though, as I got everything out of the way nice and early, and to start things off, I found my first actual jackal tape that wasn't given to me for free. Just after that, I went and found my 5th buddy. Up until this point, the first 4 buddies had all come from doing the main story, but this 5th one, you actually had to find him in the open world, and he was missable if you went down to the southern territory and tried to come back. He wouldn't be there. Another thing to note is make sure you have enough heals when you get to him in order to save him, or else he won't become your buddy. Now I just had to find the 6th and final buddy in the northern territory, and the location of this final buddy is dependent on where you found your other buddies. For example, when I first started the game, I was taken to the slaughterhouse where I got a buddy, and then I went to cockfights and got a buddy, and then later on in the main mission I went to lumber and got another buddy, meaning fresh fish was the final place I had to go to find the buddy. And this final buddy is technically missable, as you don't come to this location for any story missions, so you have to come do it yourself. No problem, Garbani Singh. 6 buddies met. That should be all 6 in the first area then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, well I hope that's right anyway. Moving on from the buddies, I then went on to find the 8 jackal tapes in the Northern Territory. Not long after finding the 8th tape, I also found the final safe house in the Northern Territory, and after taking out all the enemies, I got myself an achievement. Yes, Wanderer. Found all the safe houses in Laboa Sako, the Northern Territory. Let's go. After that, I made my way back to Mike's bar to talk to Ruben the journalist and return to him the 8 jackal tapes, getting myself another achievement. Yes, I found all of them in one go. Here you go. Investigative reporter turned over the first of the Jackal's audio logs to the journalist. After that, it was now time to take on the actual real grind, which was finding all of the diamond briefcases in the Northern Territory. And luckily, I was able to find this really good website that had an interactive map which showed where all the diamond locations were, and I used this and I just went area by area. So both the Northern and Southern Territory are made up of 9 square kilometer areas, and actually in the top left of each area it tells you how many diamonds you can find. So using the guide and based on that number, I was able to find all the diamonds in each of the 9 areas in the Northern Territory, ending with a total of 112 out of the 221 briefcases found. Now that that grind was done and I was finished with finding all the collectibles in the Northern Territory, I could continue on with the main story. And eventually I got myself another achievement. Boom. Ruthless. Wait, I got an achievement? Subverted all the main faction missions in Laboa Saco, the Northern Territory. I still had a couple more main missions to go, but these ones didn't have any subversions. I just had to complete them normally. Sticking it to the man. Killed a faction captain in Laboa Saco, the Northern Territory. Let's go. After taking out the opposite faction captain, the faction we were working for betrays us, with both of them looking to kill us now, which Ruben informs us of, with some of the soldiers attacking Mike's bar and our buddies, and some other soldiers attacking some civilians. We can't save both, so we have to choose which one to protect. And I'm probably a bad person for doing this, but I ended up choosing my buddies at Mike's bar over the civilians. But it doesn't really matter which one you choose, because no matter what, you end up failing, as the place is surrounded and all my buddies were taken out along with me. Bro, you kidding me? All my buddies died anyway? What was the point of trying to save them then? Oh, I'm probably meant to die, aren't I? Yep, okay. And that is the reason why you can't go back to the Northern Territory and get all 6 buddies, because they either die or go missing once you reach the Southern Territory. Anyway, we eventually wake up once again and we fall off the back of a truck in the middle of the desert. We slowly fight our way to a shelter, but unfortunately pass out just before reaching it, and we wake up once again to be confronted by the Jackal, who has actually helped us this time. He tells us of the aftermath of what is going to happen after the UFL betrayed us and has been victorious in the northern region, telling us what they're going to do to the community, describing it as a cancer, with him saying the only way to deal with it is to take out both factions. He hears a car pull up outside, so he makes his escape, leaving us to be confronted by the new leader of the APR. And so now he gives us the mission to work for him by taking out the faction captain that just betrayed us. And so of course, that's exactly what I did. I headed back up to the Northern Territory to get my sweet revenge. And then I headed for the Southern Territory, unlocking myself the achievement down but not out. No way my game just crashed. I got an achievement and my game crashed. What? But I still got the trophy though, achievement. Down but not out. Escape to Boa Seco, the Southern Territory. I did use this as an opportunity though to find the 4 briefcases in this middle transition desert area. And then after that I finally officially made it into the Southern Territory. Once there we meet back up with Greaves, the APR leader we met at the hut earlier, who gives us the rundown on an operation he wants us to complete to reignite the conflict. He realizes that his boss may negotiate a peace deal with the UFLL, meaning he will lose his job. So to prevent this from happening, he wants us to start up the conflict again, this time in the Southern Territory. So we head to a cargo boat where we meet our first buddy of the Southern Territory, and this time we have to help transport a bunch of guns into the main town. The boat looks like an APR vessel, so the major of the UFLL, Greaves' boss, will think that the APR has gone back on their peace treaty, reigniting the civil war. Oh, let's go. Dawa Yamoto Nimoto broke the ceasefire and reignited the conflict. Just before the conflict starts, we head into town to try and get some more malaria pills, but of course, the fight breaks out as we're talking to the doctor. So we have to make our escape from town, and this time we are successful, unlike at the start of the game. But after escaping, we get a call from our buddy that just sailed the boat for us, and they are getting attacked by some soldiers, so we have to go save them. And once we do, this is where the new Mike's bar is set up, where our new buddies can hang out. And of course, after that, no main missions. I purely just went straight into doing the side stuff, starting off with some new convoy and assassination missions. And whilst I was doing these missions, I ended up getting an achievement for exploring the whole map, which I'm pretty sure is unmissable anyway, because the main story takes you to every region on the map. Virtual trophy, pretty much. Oh, Dr. Livingston, I presume, entered every 1 square kilometer map region of the world. And not too long after that, I ended up completing my final convoy mission.
Oh, nice. Really like the game.
End demand. Unlocked all weapons by hitting every convoy. What was the first one called? Supply. Unlocked new weapons by hitting supply and demand. Then all I had to do was grind out the final few assassination missions. Running after me. Utility man! Completed all missions intercepted from cellular tower signals. After that, I then decided it was time to find the 8 Jackal tapes in the Southern Territory. However, I did get a glitch where each new tape I picked up played the exact same audio recording as the 9th one.
Had a shotgun across his lap, and a dead APR half in the ditch next to him. Had a shotgun across his lap, and a dead APR half in the ditch.
And the tape wouldn't count in my Jackal tape collection on the settings menu. Thankfully though, I was using a video guide on YouTube to find all the Jackal tape locations, and checking the comments, someone mentioned that they also did get stuck at another tape and it wouldn't play any of the new ones, but if you kept collecting them, you would still be able to get the achievement. So luckily, even though I wouldn't be able to hear any new tape audio, collecting them all would still get me the achievement. And thankfully, once I had collected all 8 of them and returned back to Ruben, the achievement did pop. Yes! Pulitzer material. Turned over all of the Jackal's audio logs to the journalist. Is that how you say it? Pulitzer? Pulitzer? I don't care about the achievement. After that, it was then back to grinding out to find the rest of the diamond briefcases. Getting to all the diamond briefcases was not a walk in the park though. Some of them required a few extra steps, such as using a hang glider to get to the location. And let me tell you, the hang glider controls in this game are so bad. It's so sensitive to any slight movement of your left stick. Plus, enemies can easily shoot you down. What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? Ah! What the flip is going on? I hate my life. And this also meant that I had to restart checkpoint every single time so the hang glider would spawn back in its location. Eventually, after a couple of fails, I finally made the hang glider, and then I almost blew myself up with a grenade, but anyway, I managed to survive and I got the hardest briefcase out of the way. But silly me forgot to save right after, and I ended up dying, meaning I had to go all the way back to my last save, which was before I got that diamond briefcase, meaning I had to do that whole hang glider section all over again. Fantastic. Oh, now I have to go get that final diamond again. Of course, I did go back and get it done, but I learnt pretty quickly that I need to save more often, so for the next few hours, I just grinded out the rest of the diamonds, making sure to save after any difficult diamonds in particular. Just like in the Northern Territory, whilst I was looking for all the diamonds, I was also unlocking every safe house, this time in the Southern region. Yes, Orienteer. Found all the safe houses in Boaseco, the Southern Territory. Not long after that, I just had one more area of the map to find the rest of the diamonds, and I was officially done. Boom. Don't get the achievement yet though, I don't think, because 221 out of 221, let's go. But I still gotta do all the missions and stuff to get the rest of the diamonds. But that is done, that should be all the collectibles done now, I should just have to do the missions, I think. And I was pretty much correct. I was officially done with all the collectibles, I just had to finish the main story now. So I just had to go back to doing some missions for the UFLL and APR. And of course, I still had to make sure I was subverting all the missions with my buddy. And very similar to the Northern region, I did my first mission with the UFLL, and for the second mission I made sure to do it for the APR instead. So once I completed the mission, I got myself another achievement. Against the middle. Switch sides in Boa Seco, the Southern Territory. Playing both sides against the middle, yeah. Eventually, after a few main missions, I also had to complete my final underground mission to get my last lot of malaria pills. Now back to the main missions. Oh my god, I accidentally paused my recording. Messenger completed all the available underground side quests in both the north and the south. I can't believe I paused my recording, goddammit. Okay, well, I got the achievement. I thought I would have had more to do, but I'll take it. I almost forgot to mention, but earlier I also found my 10th buddy, which was the only missable one in the Southern Territory. You have to go out of your way to find him at the brewing company location. And as I said, he is the only missable one, as the rest of the buddies can be found in main missions. Which leads me into my next achievement, where I had to do a main mission to find my last buddy. Let's go! The third faction. Rescued all the buddies from their respective predicaments. I thought I still had one more for some reason. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh yeah. 6 in the first area, 5 in the second. Nice. Once again, I went back to completing more of the main missions, until eventually I had my final subversion mission. Get down. Oh, that's why we're gonna get down. Tough. Cold-blooded. Oh, that's for, subverting all the main faction missions in Boa Seco, the Southern Territory. Let's go. For the next mission, it turns out that a peace deal has re-emerged, and we have to go retrieve a case of diamonds from the other faction leader as a show of good faith. However, when we get there though, it turns out the leader is already dead. As when we go to grab the diamond briefcase, it turns out the Jackal has set us up. Essentially, he wants the war to continue, not because he wants to keep selling guns, but he's worried about what they'll do to the innocent people that live there if they're not fighting each other. So he ends up knocking us out, taking the diamonds himself in order to make it look like we were the ones that killed the leader, reigniting the war. So we end up waking up in a prison cell with one of our buddies captured as well. She ends up getting taken away to be tortured, so we have to escape to save her. Oh, okay, so I got me medicine. Why was there just a machete and medicine waiting there, bro? That's so stupid. And so using that magically placed machete, we are able to take out the guards and save our buddy. Following that, we fight our way out of the prison to make our escape. Prison escape. Escaped torture at the old slave outpost. That was kinda easy. After escaping the prison, the next two missions are pretty much the same. So now there's essentially 3 leaders of each faction, and all of them are vying for power to become the overall leader of the faction. So one of them tells you to kill the other 2, and you pretty much get to decide which one you want to become leader. So for example, I ended up keeping this guy alive, can't remember his name, sorry, and I ended up killing the other 2 leaders. Because then after that, Ruben calls us as he wants to talk to us, and here we are also introduced to the other faction leader now, who again wants us to take out the other 2 leaders of the faction. Here, finding all those diamond briefcases actually finally paid off as we get our final main mission diamonds. Alright, Wages of Conflict. Acquired all conflict diamonds in the game available through payment or exploration. Nice, I was hoping that one would pop. And now that I had all the diamonds in the game, I was able to purchase the final few weapons and upgrades to get myself another achievement. Let's do it. Weapons Expert. Purchased the manuals and acquired the bandoliers for every weapon. Moving on, for the APR, I decided to keep my good friend Nick Greaves around, because he's the only one that I remember the name of, and I took out the other 2 leaders. Last man standing. Wiped out the senior leadership of both factions and determined who would be the new warlord. After that, we have to go save Ruben and his journalist friends, who are being held at the airfield by some soldiers. As repayment for us saving him, he gives us some information, which is that the APR and UFLL have finally called an actual truce, So the Jackal has started an uprising or riot in the old prison where we were being held, so we have to head there to take out the Jackal. However, once we get to the prison, the Jackal is actually just waiting for us, and he wants us to help him as he has changed his view of the war, as he actually wants to stop it now because he wants to save the innocent people of this country. So he gives us 2 objectives to complete. One is to collect a diamond briefcase, which he can use to pay off the guards to allow the civilians to cross the border, and the second one is to take out the 2 brand new faction leaders who are now working together. And so with nothing else to do in the game, I head past the point of no return. Down there. The heart of darkness. Entered the heart of darkness. Let's go. So once we're in this area, we fight our way through some enemies until eventually we make it to where the briefcase is located. And it turns out that one of our buddies is the one that has the briefcase. And here we get a somewhat big twist.
We're okay, I think.
You're wasting time, just shoot him.
I can't shoot him, he's one of us.
We made our deal, he's not a part of it.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Wait, you guys are still alive? Ah! Oh my god, we were on the same team! Wait, I thought they died. You brought this on yourself, Nazarene. And you! I thought... Wait a minute. She was... Yeah, Flora. Oh my god, they said she was... I thought they were dead, I thought they died, bro. So it turns out that all of my buddies that I had in the Northern Territory that I thought died in that original shootout at Mike's bar, turns out they all survived, and now they are trying to kill me to hold on to their diamonds. Of course though, I am able to take them all out, but this was definitely a shock. I didn't expect them to come back and betray me like that. Anyway, once I have retrieved the briefcase, I was now able to move on to the second objective, which was to take out the 2 faction leaders. I am able to surprise attack them at their own base camp as they still think I'm on their side, and after fighting my way through all the other soldiers that start attacking, I am able to take out both of them. Then it was just time to meet back up with the Jackal himself. He explains to us that even without the leaders, the APR and the UFLL are still after the civilians that are trying to escape via the border. So he gives us 2 options. One of us must give the diamonds to the border guards to bribe them to allow the refugees to escape across the border, and the other person has to head to the canyon with a car battery to detonate some explosives on the cliff so it blows up and the debris blocks the path of the soldiers chasing after the refugees. Either way though, both of us will end up dead, as whoever sets off the explosives manually will be caught in the blast, killing them, and the other person who delivers the diamonds also has to shoot themselves with a gun that can be found in the briefcase. As the Jackal puts it, both of us are terminal cases, meaning we're gonna die anyway. So I decided I didn't want to get blown into a bunch of little pieces by an explosive, so I chose to deliver the diamonds to the border guards, meaning the Jackal would have to set off the explosives himself. On the way there's a couple of enemies I had to take out, but other than that, it was pretty much a walk in the park, and I simply just had to hand over the briefcase to the border guard.
But for the sake of those souls outside, I hope there's more to your plan than this.
Yes, oh mates, the horror. The horror. Resolved your conflict with the Jackal, facilitated the exodus. That's it, that should be the final. Yep, the rest is multiplayer. How's the story gonna end? Okay. I guess, yep, let's save the day. And the game ends with us saving over 2 million refugees, kinda making up for all the trouble that we caused throughout the game. The fate of our player is also left ambiguous, as we don't know if he actually shot himself, and what happened to the Jackal is left a mystery as well, as a body was never found. And with that, I had officially kind of completed Far Cry 2. Well, I did all the achievements that were possible in the game anyway, as of right now. I did double check one more time that the servers weren't working, just in case, and unfortunately, the ranked games were still down. So unfortunately, I won't be able to add it to my list of games that I have 100% completed or platinumed, because technically I didn't do it, but maybe one day in the future, if these servers ever come back online, I might be able to come back and clean this game up. But Who am I kidding? I don't want to play this game's multiplayer. I don't want to put myself through all that grind. So if the servers do come back up, I'll do it, but I hope they don't. It ain't ideal, but I am definitely happy enough to leave this game done at 66%. Especially because it's on Xbox, it ain't affecting my PlayStation trophy list. And with that being said, I can't wait to get back to PlayStation, as the next game in the series, Far Cry 3 Classic Edition, I'll actually be able to do on my PS5. Thank you all so much for watching this video, especially if you've made it this far. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy my content, and leave a comment down below which game you wish still had their multiplayer servers up so you could complete their trophy or achievement list. I'll see you all in the next one.